Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Subject when he get this in, because this is a part of society that we definitely need to address. There's a part of society that it's just not talked about in a lot of talk shows and things like that. But there's something happening in society that is quite scandalous. It's scandalous. And I hope that, Abe, how far off are we? Give me a time.
Give us like one more minute.
One more minute, yeah.
Stretch it out. Yeah, it didn't fit.
In society, something is happening with the men and women. I'm talking about rich people and poor people. It's happening, and if we don't begin to address this, we're going to sit in a dark place when it comes to relationships in America. And sitting in a dark place in relationships in America is going to make it, by the time you get out of it, you're not going to be old. You're going to lose so many valuable years. You're really going to regret the years you spent with someone who isn't going to be right or isn't taught to be right. Oh, you're going to regret those years when you get older. Take that from your brother Corey, who's been dogged out in the mass media. It's been dogged out.
I understand perfectly what he's saying, right? And, a lot of people, especially men, they regret giving so much time, effort, and energy to a woman who end up leaving them or end up getting a divorce, right? But this I have to say, those type of men, they have regret because the woman they dealing with is the woman who have brought a lot of stuff to a halt in their life. That's why they be having regret. Okay? There are a lot of women that come into their life and control too much, control the dynamics, to control his destiny. Okay? And this is a sad case that a lot of men, especially so-called black men, find themselves in. You don't have no regrets when you're dealing with a woman, no matter if she end up cheating on you or not. If you're building, you don't have no regret, no matter if she cheat on you or not, if you're moving in your purpose. You don't have no regrets if you're building something that's monumental, okay? No matter what she do. Because you know that you are the prize. And if there's something that caused the relationship to go down hills, you're not going to be tripping, okay? Because you know your value, you know your worth. And in your mind, it's going to be her loss. It's her loss. But a lot of you guys, you live with regret after a woman done left you, after a woman done ran you through the ringers because you don't move with wisdom. You don't move with wisdom at all. And then you sit on the couch, put your hands in your pants like Al Bundy, and just have a weak, sad mentality. But if you are building, if you are moving in your purpose, if you are doing something substantial, you won't have no life of regret, no matter if she coming or going. Okay.
In the media that has all the power and the channels, your brother Corey is giving you some game right now. And I just hope we could get this video working, because what the brother said is so deep. Last time I saw this brother, I was working at, I don't know if it was the Chicago theater or if it was the other theater in Chicago. And he was with his people, and we always laugh and have a good time. One day I saw him and his girl in front of the Ha-Ha. Both of them was on their motorcycles. I ain't gonna lie, he's married to Sally Richardson.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I knew you knew who I was talking about, D.
Oh, my God, he was on the show. Oh, I'm so sad that show went away.
Which show?
Queen Sugar.
It went away?
Yep.
Have you ever met the brother?
So good. Probably in the beginning of his career.
It's ready.
I met the brother, man. He always is cool, transparent, and always good energy when I'm around him. And when I saw this clip that was sent to me, I was like, wow, this is so deep. Come on, let me know when you're ready.
You know who he reminds me of?
Hold on, let him play
Flex.
this.
I always get him and Flex mixed up.
You were locked in a cage with a lion. How would you talk to that lion? Would you say, I wish you would, lion? Bite me. I wish you would. Please do it. Please do it. Would you talk to that lion like that locked up in that cage? No. No. You know why? Because you're gonna get bit. And you're probably gonna die. Yeah. Your man is a lion. And you are in a locked cage with a lion.
Yeah.
You have the power with your language to either set him on fire or turn him all the way down.
What the brother said was basically, if you were in a cage with a lion, you wouldn't be talking crazy to him because jungle rules apply. But in relationships in America, you're in a cage with a lion, which is your man. And the reason you talk crazy to your man is because most of the times there's no repercussions. In fact, you deliver him to the system that is an enemy of both of you. How scandalous must you be to take your man and talk crazy to him because you know there is a system set up to tame him in front of you?
A lot of you men, you put yourself in this position. And there's two sides to this argument, man. A lot of you, man, you know what type of woman you're dealing with, and yet you still get yourself wrapped up in the system by signing a contract with them when you didn't properly vet them, okay? You didn't properly vet them. And then you got a lot of men who just so naive, as again, simple, gullible to how this system operate. And you're still trying to live by other nationalities' way of doing things, and you just feel the need in order for you to believe that you're married, you got to sign a contract, and you don't do nothing but give yourself over to the system. And that's why she's able to run to the system, okay? You have to understand, and I'm not trying to be negative, and I'm not trying to make the thing about racism or anything of that matter, whatnot, but you got to understand, a lot of the laws that's on books, a lot of the laws is on books because of you so-called black people. Understand that. Because of you so-called, a lot of the policies that's been enacted it's been enacted, because of you so-called black people. Okay? So it's very ludicrous to believe the system is going to come to your rescue, especially you men, when you have signed up and gave your signature to subjugate yourself to the system, to chain yourself to the system because of not having enough sense and not having enough spiritual fortitude to know what marriage is really all about. Okay? And you're dealing with these women. These women know that you've been neutered. These women know that you've been sedated. And they act the way that they act. No matter how much of a lion you are, you've been neutered. You're neutered. You're not the real lion. You're a cage lion. And people know cage lions that been domesticated is totally different from a lion that's in the wild. Okay?
Have you thought about that? Have you thought about the situation that most people are in? It's a man at home being whipped because there's a system against him. He's a lion, but he can't bite because of the threat of being tamed or even killed in front of the person that he's with. That is foul behavior, and it's not talked about enough in America. I used to be in a situation like that. I was a lion, and I couldn't really bite because I know if I bite, All kinds of forces of evil are coming to get me. But in the jungle, you don't talk crazy to the lions because they will eat your ass.
If you have ED, you might need to work on your mental game. When you're aroused, your brain releases dopamine. That dopamine kicks.
What say you? What say you about that?
The difference is the lion in the wild compared to a lion that's caged up. It's moving by different laws. He's moving by different laws. The lion that's in cage most of the time, because it's been domesticated, most of the time sees the people that's in charge as the predator. But the lion in the wild, he's the predator. And this is how it is in a relationship. A lot of you guys, you have become to prey, and these women prey on you. Whether because you've been reared up and raised up by a single mother, or you've been indoctrinated by the wine of this matrix. And a lot of guys, you out here, you've been indoctrinated and you're drunk off the wine of this matrix. You're drunk from the cup that's mingled with a perverse spirit. And those of you in the truth, you know what I'm talking about in Isaiah chapter 19, around the 14th verse, that have been mingled with a perverse spirit. And perverse means to be opposite. It means to go against. It means not natural. Okay. It's not natural for a man to be living in weakness, to be living in the position of being docile, sedated, and neutered to a woman or the system. Okay. And this is why a lot of guys are enslaved, especially so-called black men, enslaved to this system and enslaved to women. You may not have physical chains on you, but trust me, you have chain on you. And you think twice of how you move. You think twice of what you're going to say. You're not a man at the end of the day. You're not a man at all.
Have you ever been in a situation with a mouse talking crazy to you and you a lion, Craig?
Oh yeah, that's the business, man. P. That's man. You know, we just
Somebody say the lion on probation.
Well, we're judged for what we don't do. You know what I mean? Like, you're really strong. You didn't do nothing. It's all right.
Somebody say lions get trained in the circus. This is a circus we living in. This is a circus we living in.
And they're making circuses, they're banning circuses. They're no longer around.
What do you mean, D?
Well, they're putting them out of business because they don't believe that that's the more like ethical treatment of the animals. It's wrong. So in other words, they're shutting stuff down little by little. You know what I'm saying?
They may be shutting down the circuses, right? But then they still got zoos. So what's the difference? Be as it may, the lion is still being caged. It's still moving at the drum beat and at the dictatorship of something outside of itself. That's not how a lion moves. And this matrix system, this wicked system that we're living in, it is a circus. It is a circus. And all they want you to do as men, not to be masculine, they want you to perform before them. And this is the mindset that this is the mindset that a lot of women have. And this is why if you're not performing to the liking of a woman, guess what? She's out of there. She's out of there. But as long as you got men that's willing to reduce themselves, right? Willing to perform to make a woman happy instead of doing what he's supposed to do to be happy himself and serving the Most High, this is what we're going to continue to have. One big ass circus.
So they making it where circuses are going to be obsolete?
They are. Yeah. They have been. Yeah.
Well, what about the circus at home with the man who is the lion, the baddest motherfucker in the house, but he don't want no trouble?
In other words, maybe it needs to go down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's happening. It took a long time. Look, but they're unfolding them. So
I don't want no trouble, but I tell you what, I'm at the age where I know how to get away from the little irritating mouse that's playing with me.
And every man should know how to get away. You stand within a place where you have been neutered by your woman, right? Why in the hell you still there? Why in the hell you still there? There's too many single women out here for you to go and start your own pride. Okay? Why be with a lioness that need to be put down? Because she can't subject herself to the pride. Huh? What is we talking about? This is why a lot of you guys, you need to take inventory into your life. Take inventory into your relationship. Take inventory to your disposition in life. And then when you look at it and look yourself in the mirror, you have to acknowledge the reality that it's nobody's fault but yours, the man in the mirror. Come on, MJ, the man in the mirror. Now you need to get your bark back. You need to get your bite back. You need to get your boldness back. That's 3 points right there. Somebody can go do a video on that right there. Get your bark back, get your bite back, get your boldness back. Okay? All right? First it'll be boldness. Okay, once you become bold, now you can bark again. Get your bark back. Once you start barking, they don't want to hear the bark. Now it's time to bite. Let's get some more of this.
I know how to get away from them now. At one time, I didn't.
Well, the system, stripped men of our power, period. So it's really no reason for women to respect us in the household at all. You know what I mean? They don't have to really.
Explain that, Craig, because it's deep what you just said.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to really depend on us for nothing. They don't. Especially in the black community, most black women, up until recently, made more money than black men. Women.
I think he better go check that data because I don't think he's speaking facts right here. Okay, he is very intellectual on various topics, but he's not speaking accurately right here.
Are allowed to be out after 10 p.m., which is a travesty because all kind of things.
I agree with that. Now he's speaking facts right there. He's speaking scriptures right there, whether he know it or not. Even the scripture in Sirach chapter 25, around the last few verses say, give not the woman liberty to get abroad. And when you see women that have liberty to get abroad, best to believe she is always in chaos. She got a chaotic behavior. She got a chaotic mindset. Women that believe they can come and go as they please, believe they can be out at all times of the night, their life is very chaotic. And guess what else? The Most High allow their mind, their brain to be chaotic. Check me out. I'm giving you some insight right here. Show me a woman that's out at night, right, who don't have a chaotic life or don't have a chaotic mindset. Prove me wrong.
Things happen.
Boy, you stupid.
You know what I'm
Good.
saying?
This guy.
Shit happens after 10 p.m. It's just women are allowed now, which I don't mean allowed in a negative way, but
I mean, negative or not, they are allowed. But this is what the system wanted to do, especially in the so-called black community. This was a prophecy of Jeremiah anyway, when they talk about women should surpass a man. It's not talking about surpass a man and being a man or being more. No. Because the scripture also said that a man is more precious than gold, even the gold of Ophir. But anyway, a woman don't have to answer to her man no more in so-called black community. Every other nationality. That's why you see marriage thriving more in other nationalities and compared to the so-called black community because their women answer to their men. And the women that don't answer to the man often end up in divorce right away because their man is not going to tolerate that. Okay? Go check me out. Go fact check me. But in the so-called black community, because the woman don't believe she needs to answer to a man or submit herself to the man, that's why you see divorce at an all-time high. Look from the 60s, the 70s to today and watch how it starts to dwindle. Watch how marriage start to go. I'm not talking about marriage, I'm talking about in the sense of contract. Watch how it start degrading, right? From the 60s, 70s to today. People was more and more together back then, but when chaos ensues, man, you know what follow? Destruction. And women is very chaotic. Very, very chaotic, right? That's why, and I know that this may be old-fashioned, but I often try to enlighten your mind to the scripture. This is why in the scripture, a father handing his daughter over to a man. You'll find it in Sirach, okay? Handing his daughter over to a man, meaning the responsibility is changing up. But see, we don't operate like that. You got fathers out here that want their daughters to be whores, right? Prostituting their daughters. And when a real man come into their daughter's life, they got a problem with that man, right? Because they want their daughter to continue to be able to. No, they don't work like that. It don't work like that at all. And when you got this, I'm going to keep telling you, man, it's nothing but chaos. Chaos. Can somebody tell me otherwise? Can somebody prove this otherwise? No, I don't think so.
It's just there are certain boundaries that women can cross that they shouldn't be able to cross, but the system allows that and they take advantage of that. You know what I mean? It's like, look at the whole concept of a stud. A stud appears as a man, acts like a man, but as soon as she gets treated like a man, then she can retreat back across that line and start acting like a woman again.
And which is what they normally do when somebody get ready to show their ass they're a woman.
But that's just
Right.
one form of narcissistic mirroring that men endure and have to not be affected by. We got to gray rock everything that is trying to destroy us because we've been led to believe that destruction is only physical. If somebody's not trying to stab, shoot, or kill you, then they're not trying to destroy you. But if somebody is gaslighting you, mirroring you, antagonizing you,
Yeah. Somebody said even a trained lion will revert back to his original habits.
and why does it revert back? Because of triggers. You know what I mean?
Right.
It ain't always a fucking bark or a swipe that make a lion bite you.
I'm so glad you said that. When I was in court, the judge was aware of the triggers.
But all at the same time, I understand what Craig said, but it's the triggers that keep lions and zoos and circus tame. It's the triggers. Okay, this is something like mind control. There's certain triggers that, people that's into mind control use to snap people back into reality. And in such the case is maybe, hosing the lion down with a fire hydrant or, shockings. This is what they use in mind control. Electricity shocks and all that. All the stuff that they use to tame a lion. Them triggers. But if that lion is left alone and his mind is allowed to grab hold or contemplate its nature, revel in its nature, then yes, it's going to revert back. But see, there's so much trauma that comes by different triggers that has been pressed upon men, and particularly black men, that keep them tame. Okay? Traumas keep you tame. But when you sit there and commune with your mind, commune with your conscience, and your conscience start witnessing to your nature, the nature of the Most High that put within you as being a man, then them traumas, you start seeing them as something that you can overcome. And when you start overcoming the traumas that has been embedded in your memory, in your psyche, in your psychosis, then before you know it, you're a man's man. Okay? And that's how it with the lion. When he get away from them triggers, them traumas that they have put upon him through training and taming him, and sit there with his nature, he go back to who he is. That's a lion, the king. Okay?
The judge was aware of the triggers.
Right.
This man who doesn't have a criminal history is not in this courtroom today because he was walking down the street.
Right.
So what happened where all this went wrong? And when the history of the stalking and everything else, antagonistic behavior and everything was put before the judge, all that shit motherfuckers be saying, you should never, no, use a lane.
Right.
Use a lane.
Right. And this is what you got to understand. Women in their right mind, logically speaking, they know they can't be no man. They know they can't be no man. And they knowing this, they want you to put your hands on them because they know the only way to really beat you is in the long game. All right. So this is why they antagonize you. This is why, these women crazy, man. These women crazy. But, I'm going to finish watching this to the next video. Peace.